Well, that's really solid shooting. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now ready to kick off the game. Rustec to start on the T side, thanks to HASHIRAS' choice to start on the CTs. I have to say, looking rather solid whenever I've seen them play, so... Now is the question of, can they take on a team of experienced veterans or not? HASHIRAS start defensively, some pressure towards mid, some towards the lower tunnels. Rustec should be pincered here, but if they break open on the B site, fish for a few kills, they can definitely do a lot of damage. The Molotov actually shimmers out, and that is Queenix in a free position to try to take some shots. Just couldn't really line any of them up, and Brilliance doubles down. Additions to Yoka's first, even a hat trick from the longest standing member of that team. HASHIRAS are no more. Off there at the angle, 21 HP to his name, and HE would be enough, but looking at that, Brilliance is the only one really that got the damaging util. They're going to toss their smokes out first and try to work their way into the angle. The HE does a little bit more damage. Yoka, gunned down. Still a 5-on-4, need to find a couple more kills, but it's starting to get messy. Bermilov and Bird each find a kill. Now suddenly Bermilov adds one more. How did he do that on 21 HP? That is this question that will be the blame of Rustec. 3 kills for Bermilov, and around the start it looked like it's going to be pretty clean, and it just ended up being an absolute mess. Orup is in a good angle to fish out the one at short. Spots the head, easy work. Even a better trade from JKS. Well, JKS have really found a fair bit of success there. But this rifle is going to be way too difficult to pick up. They used one smoke on the CT side of things. They could have used the other smoke and try to pick up the rifle, but they're wary of HASHIRAS, taking over the angle. Molotov dissuades them from moving at short, but not too sure. They've heard the audio cue. At least Jack's still there at Goose. Bird playing for support. The 1-2 with the HE should allow Jax to definitely find a peak. Tries to be proactive. Could catch him in transition. Fully blinded. Easy work for the CTs. Timing found. And Ants have also found another kill. Same and Jake Kex have found those kills for that T side, but eventually they'll be sprayed down. Good damage there to find third, but not really expecting them to win the round. Still, I will say that that one is a miniature win in itself. They're still competitive. They're still damaging, and they're not letting those rounds go. Of course, Yoka supposed to be the AWPer of this Rustec team. Well, that second nade from the CT side a bit more effective, but Bird so far up, even got a teammate. They're trying to play off the back of each other. The flash alerts Yoka. And now you can find it's good timing. Their backs are turned, leaving the angle. Yoka could try to capitalize, but it took them quite a while. At least they've averted the intentions of HASHIRA away, but AWPer still posted. Not an easy duel by JKEX, but the flash is great. So that's one pushed off the angle. An opener on the B side. Queenix still in there. Brilliance found a TK, but not really anything that will go HASHIRA's way. 4-on-3, the B side again continues to be the bane of the CTs. And while they do have the financials, their loss bonus is not going to be that good, so they might be thinking about a save already. Know that they're counted out of that round. Already that much that they can do. And I thought that maybe Yoka would think about actually hunting, and not that far off. Okay, maybe like Jake, Yoka, and Ants can buy, but I'm looking at Supra and Brilliance, and I'm thinking like it's not gonna be enough, really. Well, enough or not. Gonna be playing around it. Bermilov did not find the initial shot. Thankfully, the smoke came in. Dissuade any further peaks. Brilliance could be caught. Player out there. That was a sitter for Bermilov. Typically doesn't miss those. That is gonna pile up a lot of pressure. The players on the other side. Flashes came in. Bird somehow still alive. The IGL have called on the AWPer. Pivot back into the side. The HE that if it was a little bit lower could have done a lot more damage, but I guess the verticality is also an element of that damage. And at the end of the day, HASHIRAS Mind you, they're doubling down on that B side because they haven't really been that successful there, and that means that this A side is a little bit weaker. Sure, they got 3 on the side itself, but Jax has got to be occupied with the long doors. That means there's only 2 at that line of sight. A second miss from Bermilov. Bird now has got to do it all on his lonesome. They're going to turn and clear him. No, they won't. And Bird got the 1, but that's 2 traded back from the T side. Very smart play from Ants, just not really participating in the round until he knows that his role is absolutely needed, and it isn't right now. Virmilov clears a close angle. Will he check the left, though? I think that's unlikely. Goes in. That's just a free op. And Rustec goes back-to-back here. Not really the best of positions, because then a lot of pressure is on you. So this round feels like it's a paramount win. Economy from Rustec in a great position. The pressure on B might force Greenix off. Not a kill to be found. Now all the tests onto Borup. He's only going to be good for a 1. Clean side take. Pacey. HASHIRAS still struggling despite putting numbers here at B, despite having some utility. And they just might have to concede another save. I don't really see any two-way about it. Well, at least for now, it's a slower pace for Rustec. Granted, the game play out. And the same 2-on-2, and the same problems do continue. B-side pressure is real, and HASHIRAS just cannot handle it, not one bit. Trying to blow off the smoke, Vermilov, but doesn't really find much behind it here. Should be an easy one from that point onwards. That 2-2 split feels way too barren. Mid has been denied, and as long as Rustec tries to recapture that space, it should be an easy round for them. They're unaware of it as of now. But you can definitely say that it's supposed to be something. It's well within their wheelbarrow. Especially if they find the kills here on that double stack. Borup, fishing for an angle. No one's speaking into him as of yet, and Jax will be discovered. An audio cue made that does alert Ants of that position. Great wherewithal. Use the Molotov in that timing. At least they've sullied one of the 2 plays that were made by the CT side, and they're avoiding the other one pretty well. Cupra's in a great position to hold off the push if it does come from Queenix. We're going to go in back into that B split. Utility to be used. Or if now, maybe a tad too late to try to contest middle. Nowhere really to go. Has to play the CQC opping style, and that might be his bane. Options are open for that T side, and Supra just catches Borup completely off guard. Now they know where Queenix is, and he also shut him down thanks to that same map. Who's now got the support of Vermilov here towards B. That's where things can get a little bit dicey. Like, sure, they've been good at working their way around the map, but HASHIRAS have started to take more and more gambles. We got a 3-stack here on the B side. Little do they know. Not really a whole lot from the other side. But that leaves the space. Jax there with the MP9. Jack Hex trying to find the opener. Bird down to 24. Eventually routed out of this position. And they're trying for a little bit more. JKEX find the second, and that should be an easy round from there. You know there's an MP9 up close. The players from long. Oh, they are able to hold it down. 5 more seconds, and we'll see. The Danes, the Frenchman, and the Ukrainian can do it. Great start. Bermilov down to 7. Oh, that could be that sentence. But speaking of that, Borup have finally woken up to the game. Great flash from the IGL, but Yoka finishes what he started. Back to a 4-on-3. Yes, there's an advantage for HASHIRAS, but Played that one really well here. HE not doing the most of damage, and of course the spam coming in from Bird doesn't really do as much. Supra still in the line by the angle. Looking for anything to be found. The CTs have finally decided to be proactive. This line, they caught Brilliance off guard. Oh, there's one at long. Supra trying to fish for a peek. Doesn't really line up into him initially. Got plenty of time, though, to play for. That means that the bomb should be planted. Yoka could be caught in bad timing. The push from short comes right in, and he's not fast enough to adjust. So it's all down the Estonian, and he's not really able to do that much. Well, that's really solid shooting. I guess the money's put to good use. 2 autos, 1 kill. He rush and shut down initially by Borup. Brilliance tried to test it again, but this time he's successful. That's one of the 2 ops down. Player thinking about the angle. Brilliance for now, doing well enough to hold it. Bermilov pushes past the fire and the flames. Don't think that he has been hurt, and JK's looking behind him, so there's a lot of pressure onto Ants. Playing patiently on the other side of the tunnels. Does he peek or does he not? There are 2 players here towards B. An initial tap that will pull Jax closer in rotation. Patience is the right call. Vermilov smokes off the angle. The Molotov gives away that Ants goes by, but Vermilov got to be pretty wary. Where does he look at the angle? Jax gets 1 more. It's 2 more on the side only. And they'll need to try to hold it from there. Decent utility on Brilliance, but he still steals the kill. Holding that line pretty well. Vermilov, last man standing. And a 1-on-2. Picks up the rifle. Vicious for the auto sniper. Doesn't find that much at the start, but there's the kill. The second pretty close by. 8 HP on Brilliance, but just him surviving is enough for the half to be won. It's 8 rounds for Rustec on their D side. Oh, apologies for that one. I had a bit of technical difficulty on my side, and we're back, HASHIRAS. And the time is starting to run out. Molotov doesn't really route any of those players from Rustec. They can start to find some damage. The HE is coming in. Doesn't really do that much. Open up some space for the pistols, but as always, does seem to be the superior firepower. Will just get the job done. Only a single kill by Supra, and that is gonna be it. And despite the tracers, a lot of upsides, especially with the higher fire rate. But well, with all that said and done, now Yoka going to be tested. The HE, good enough. Some pressure from Bird. Could catch Yoka off guard in transition. Not ready to what's about to hit him. While the AWP is still kept in their hand. For now, Rustec. 3 stacking on short. No flashes to come in. It's a dry peek. And Brilliance hand as well. And that 3 stack basically nearly shutting down everything. The flashes to come in. They might catch the one off guard. Significant damage and a kill. And even a second ding from Ants. Oh, that's a lot of work done, but Birmilov is still alive. HP doesn't matter for an AWPer, but numbers certainly do. Leave the angle as is. Tries to catch someone ahead of that smoke. They're going to be working their way in, but the flashes keeps them popped. Yoka yet still able to find some value. The other offer in Bermilov, so aware and so prepared of what could happen on the other end. Yoka fishing for a second. One more bullet in the magazine. Now he gets to put 5 more down. 3 to stand on the side of HASHIRAS. Nearly found that shot. Head popping out, and JKEX is the one to find it, but Jax will find them all. The backstab coming in at the right time. HASHIRAS trying to find a space. There's a real chance here for Yoka if he's careful. Flashes might rain in. That will be the right place and time for Ants to figure something out. He's got 14 to his name. Quiet game from Yoka on the AWP here. Excellent flash. They should catch 2 off guard, but Jax have done ever so well in turning that himself. With queenX finding a second, Yoka against Harm on all angles, and they are just too much for him to deal with. Well, that's the tier 1 experience that we're seeing here from Jax. Step ahead of the play. And he has found enough to lead HASHIRAS to a win. The spider senses tingled then. He decided that enough is enough. One for Borup. Traded quickly by JKEX, but yeah. Well, that was something special. But unfortunately, fizzled out at the end. Last chance now for Rustec. Need to get it done in this one. Jax burning down to a crisp, and the entry denied. No trade for HASHIRAS either. Yoka posted in a good angle, tried to be pacey. But all that they have done is serve themselves as meat on the table for the Rustec platter. The HE. He went right, would have found the kill, but for all intents and purposes, JKEX have already been on the flank. At least time is not another inhibiting factor, but Brilliant seems to be well posted. And with that one, and he needs to line up his shots though, and that's 2. Third on the bench, Yoka is no more, so Brilliant have got to do a lot more of that work alongside Ants, thankfully. The latter chimes in just at the right time. kONO have made an audio cue. Goes back up. Hopes of averting the attention of the other side. Second smoke to come in. Playing closer to each other. Waiting for Brilliance to maybe reveal just the head of that noggin. I think that he's been spotted and it's not prepared. kONO goes back out instead of in. That's a chance for the one player to be found here on the ramp. But now that he's no more, they both line him up. They find the kill. That's the 3rd timeout. Again, 2 out of those 3 timeouts did not work out for HASHIRAS. Maybe baiting out Rustec. Rustec seems to have a great idea of what is going to happen in that round. They got Ants and Brilliant so deep at long and short, respectively. And now, CTs. A little bit light on the site, leaving only Supra in, so they don't lose that much. JKEX starts off well, and HASHIRAS seems to be shut down. 2 for the price of 1. Thankfully, with a good cross, he should be able to get another gun, but it's now a 3-on-4 in that post. Bermilov healthy. M4 in hand. Try to make this one a bit of a nuisance to smoke. Actually, I would say maybe favoring the CTs a little bit more. Gives a good angle for Bermilov to play, but there's still a ton of utility that the CT side can try to use. That's 1 smoke fizzling out in the heart of the smoke. And good shooting from Jax. kONO has 1 more. The experience coming in. They're able to play off each other to perfection. And Ants trying to be the one to be the savior. Bermilov low in HP. There might just be about enough time. And Rustec somehow still dealing with that retake in the end. 3 kills from Ants. Now, my question becomes, Ants have matched them. Do they have what it takes? The other side here. First shot coming in. Great work from Supra. With a second on the site, and that's 4 kills coming through from Rustec. That is the round over. Entire take dismantled, and for the second time, Rustec finds the information on the A site, and they use it to close off the game from there. Great work. Great start for Rustec. Good bit of information on the B side. A little bit defensive, though. More defensive than I would like here towards the bathrooms. So a lot of space conceded. And a lot of trust is put in Yoka and JKEX here. The utility tossed will alert them. Rotations are coming in, but it might not be fast enough to deny any real presence from the other side. HASHIRAS actually froze off the initial phase of util. Trying in on their second wave of the entry, but they've pulled numbers now, and they're already on the other side. 5 on 4 to start. And an 8 to leave a 15 HP mark on Borup. Quick trade from Bermilov, trying to find the numbers on the other side, and they hold on well. The Dane have just erupted on 15 HP. Borup did not miss a beat, ever so elusive. Looking to close it out with another quad kill. Start things off again. Those pistols seems to be his playground. And JKEX got nothing to say about it. It was Brilliance that had found the quad kill. Of course, in the first pistol. Didn't even find a single shot in this one. I feel like 5 rifles is enough to make you win a round on the CT side if you got the right ideas, but clearly that's where they were lacking. They open up a lot of space for HASHIRAS, and despite the initial good start, it was good capitalization by the rest of the side, really. And now the CTs left that B site empty. It's a massive stack, of course, towards connector. It should be easy for Jack to farm a few. That's one. Still healthy. And they elect against pushing into the MAC-10. Instead, a couple of players at party. Maybe a shot that's a bit too difficult for Jax to handle. Gotta be careful not to be peppered too low. Now they made their way from the other side, dropping down the stairs, pressuring the Frenchman from multiple angles at once. The tension is averted elsewhere. Down to 29 points of HP. Have to be rather safe about this. Brilliance, up close and personal. At least that's something to go home about. $350 per player. Like 304. Kill, of course. 50 per. And a Galil will also be a conclusion that they would have been happy about. But unfortunately for them, despite finding the kill. Really, that is going to be where three things actually do get a little bit intriguing, but hey, at least from right now, thought is okay for Rustec. Right, an opener for Brilliance. The kill there, Con, slowing down around. Yoka still not to be activated. The spam works in from JKEX, and they find another one. Now they keep fishing for an advantage, but all they have found is losses, and the AWP is prepared. Phoenix walking in ahead on his own, and that was really not the way to approach that round at the start. Now we'll just wait to see things actually will improve on that one or not. But at least for the time being, Bert found the one. Still, 2 more on the site to find. The IGL trying to go for a plant, but it makes it very easy for Jake and Yoka. For the side of HASHIRAS. Stay passive. Jake thinking about the round. HE coming at the perfect time, but Ans, oh, that was the one to find the kill. Now his position is exposed, and he's got to let it go. And change the way that they approach the round if they want to. 40 seconds left on a timer. Vermilov playing late. Squeenix and Bird to try to take the entry. Borup and Jax late from short. Of course, the Frenchman is the lowest. Dura Barrel stuck in. Supra might eventually find some value, but he peeped his head up, and that was enough for the shots to start connecting. Yet Brilliance does the same. And late in the round, the spray down only gets the one. Ends up in a 2-on-2. The HE does significant damage to the player behind. What do you mean, JKEX? How did you get away with that one? That was robotic. He wasn't even aiming at him. He wasn't even like swiftly tracking. No, he flicked right onto the planter. Well, that is a moment of brilliance there for Rustec. And that could break the game wide open. T-Side got their 3, but right now, if they do not find a victory with that force buy, well, things are going to be rather intriguing. Phoenix, Pacey, and might not be ready. Tex proven to be a bit too much for him to handle. Can be the same for Supra. Was left on half health, not ready for the Alper. That was supposed to be the shot to open this round wide open. Now, things started to be a little bit risky. Vermilov still posted. The other side of the pillar. That HE softens him a fair bit. Great work be found by HASHIRAS in the round, but they walked out not ready for brilliance there at CT. It's not even an unorthodox position. They just thought that they have cleared out most of the map, and well, Vermilov's got discovered he is wrong because there's a player right across his face. Good attempt on the quick scope, just not really accurate enough. And JKEX. That one things actually develop on the other end. At least for now, Yoka got the right angle, right idea. There might be flashing him out. He pivots out of the angle at the worst time possible. Can't see the flash. Peeks around it. Yoka still found Borup, but Vermilov was alive, and he was the one that was more prepared. 8 HP remains. And what is a glass cannon now? Truly fragile. This round is palpitating, speeding up the play. Brilliance with the off, up close and personal. But the flash is so good that Queenix and Jax could clean off those other two. Late rotation from the bathrooms. And they fish for 2 more. How did Supra get away with this? And now Ants completely unaccounted for. Good catch is timing. Vermilov on 8. And Ants closing out more and more. Vermilov is ready, but he's not fast enough to pull the trigger on that one. We had here by HASHIRAS, who's able to afford a purchase. No op this time for Vermilov, but 5 rifles in their hands. And we're starting to see minute changes from Rustec, right? It's not like that they fully switched up the play and decided that, hey, we are going to just eat you alive. Instead, their decision making was simple. You know, we aggressed up short a little bit in the last round. We aggressed up bathrooms before. Now to send someone up long. Try to keep our B defense shored up and stable. Supra. A good angle. Playing the edge of the smoke. Great work from him. A double between him and Ant. That's a complete shutdown of everyone walking into short. Bird and Vermilov remains. The IGL. It can off the platter. Excellent shooting from Yoka. You don't really need that much of a good shot. The HE would have been enough, but Brilliance decided to take that one to his own name. Vermilov. Okay. Well, that might be the game there. That's the round opening and exploding. Thankfully, JKEX has done well, but that is just nasty from Brilliance. The bomb plant does a lot of good for this T side. And Vermilov now in the big green can be a lot more dangerous as well. Supra trying to beat the timing. 2 players in the bathrooms. There's one close by, but Vermilov is holding that line. Didn't even spot the second. They're intact up close. They got a smoke and a flash. Not really that much to play for. And they're not going to be expecting a player to be that up close, rearing their head. Not the kill found. Instead, Brilliance is the one to find the kill. Got to be very wary of the op. And they smoke it off twice. Not a lot to be seen here by Vermilov. Yes, he found the kill, but not the round. 3 kills between the scout and the op. Well, I mean, with that lead, Rustec starting to feel a bit courageous. They haven't done a play like this in quite a while. Flashes, raining in. Kills should be there. Queenix is gone. Bird, too late to the party. Guess he might think that he's the bird of prey, but today he was the prey indeed. And JKEX can hear the footsteps. Vermilov should be pretty much dead. Doesn't clear that deep in, and that's the bomb out in the open. The round now is gone. 50 seconds on the timer. Yes, there are players on the A side, but they'll have to go all the way to the opposite side. I'm surprised that Rustec are taking their sweet time. Why is Supra not rotating already? Why are they thinking about going here? Don't present them the 1v1s, please, thankfully. They still stand strong at the end. Low HP on Brilliance too, so... Borup doesn't have an impossible round, but very little time remaining, and thankfully, JKEX. And finally, we see the change that I was waiting to see for 11 rounds, but it just came at the wrong time. Feeding their way up, it's a B-Rush, shut down by Supra. I say that. Borup still alive, found that kill. 50 HP on Vermilov, so you gotta be careful not to let that go on the other end. Ants on a single point of HP. Not any more damaging utility other than that Molotov, but it gets the job done. And Brilliance, think about playing the same angle. Waiting here in the heart of the monster. It's the rotation back to the A site now in the 3-on-3. Yoka catches a kill. Pivotal look. That was a courageous duel. They were not ready for him. Not one bit. Now Jack's thinking about going back in the angle. That's the bomb found. Vermilov pretty much. They had Swift Steel. They had Nidzi. They had Xcrazo. They were doing some real damage, but then team got picked apart. Xcrazo, of course, no longer a part of Nemesis, but even on the bench, I gotta say, he's been a good player for the team. Definitely been a soldier, but I guess Nemesis now are on to bigger and better things, trying to topple K27 and Challenger, if I'm not mistaken. That's where they are at the moment. But Rustec, focus on the task at hand. And if HASHIRAS lose that round, it might be wraps on the game. The USP finds one, but quick trade from Brilliance. Triple rotate from the other side. Excellent extraction there. That was an incision of Supra out of the angle. Brilliance have got to be very careful. Spotted one at long, 2 more at the bathrooms. Brilliance shooting is impeccable. Yoka needed to be a bit better. They're starting to be lazy about this. They need to be crisp and precise. Thankfully, Jax is only on 13. 1 from the P250 is enough. And they're playing around with their time. Excellent timing for the peak from JKEX. Part of the team, and he wasn't doing bad with the 2019 iteration of Heroic either, but certainly there has been a fall off, and I mean, we still don't know what the hell ever happened to S-Attack in Counter-Strike, so you know, so that's also, I guess, another thing that can be discussed, but at least for Rustec, they're making that one rather clean. You know, there's a force fly now from the side of HASHIRAS. They've heard the MP lines. They got the first kill into Vermilov. And they're being really methodical about their approach. Holding the angles, holding the lines. Great play from Supra to be able to anticipate that jump. And the final 3, at least one of them is well known of where he actually is. Question then becomes of what to follow. Great first kill from Jack. Still a little bit more to be found here. Rustec got the B site completely to their devices. That should alert JKS that they might be close to him, but they might not anticipate him that deep into party. It's a matter of timing. Jack's thinking about the peak, and JKS worried about his right side. Great initial shot by Jack. The AK should be superior, but the run and gun prowess of those MP9s sometimes cannot be beat. We've lost a lot of guns here, Rustec. Really, when you think about it, like Kyoko only has a Deagle, Ants is on a Mac 10. They lost the 2 AKs. Like, there is absolutely a case to be made about just sending Ants to hunt if possible. Like, they've made such a buffer that feels like they are just inevitable in this game. Can you not make a mistake for 8 rounds in a row? It doesn't even seem to be that they're going to be able to hold on for 1. JKS have found 2. Borup traded for Ants on the other side. They figured out the space. Jack's trying to walk his way out of the smoke. Spotted by JKS, and thankfully this time around, still gets that kill. It's 3 in total, 23 to his name. That will be the ball making its way to the other side. Borup sneaks through. That's the one. Looking for the next. Thankfully, Brilliance able to save the game. Now it has to be a full house between those remaining 2. Vermilov, healthy, helmeted. And he's still got an HE. A lot of damaging utility on JKS, but unfortunately for Jake, smoke that would be the most pivotal, not really a part of that round for now. Has to be wary about Monster. Vermilov making his first step in. Brilliance and JKS trying to hold the crossfire. First to be tested by the older member. Might have spotted him there off the pillar. Steps are made, noise as well, and the trade is great. The swing from under definitely make this one a win. But to get 13 in a row on HASHIRAS map pick, that must feel tough. Brilliance. Well, he feels confused and dazed right now, and HE almost gave him a kiss of death. Shrapnel. The impact his odds in the round throughout, and Borup deleted by JKS. 25 to his name. They'll talk about a prospect for the future. It's still Yoka denied, at least for now. JKS continuing to play some excellent brand of Counter-Strike. There's 26 to his name now. 22 years of age, only really popped off on the HLTV radar from last year. Supra has been around before, definitely done a couple of his own rounds. 18, like some of the players of, you would say like a K27, where there's a fair bit of time for them to grow, but I mean, with that level of form from JKS, growth might not even be necessary. This game is over as a contest, and it might be over outright. Lower HP on Brilliance and Supra, but no way really for Bird to ever have a real chance at that one. It is 13-3. That is the result that we have.